You've probably seen lots of different visual representations of COVID-19 on the news, but scientists have come up with a way for us to hear it. They've turned the structure of its famous spike protein into music. But why? All the sounds that you're hearing right now chart different aspects of the spike-like protein that juts out from the coronavirus's surface and grasps onto cells in the human body, using a process called sonification. These spikes are made up of sequences of amino acids. Scientists from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology assign each amino acid an individual note in a 20-tone musical scale, converting the entire protein into song. Amino acids present themselves in different ways, some of them curling up into helixes and some of them stretching out flat like a sheet. And this is represented by different musical qualities like volume and length of note. So in this case, rhythm and dynamics represent form, whereas melody and harmony represents the building blocks of the protein spike. As for the instruments used in sonification, well, that's just up to the scientists. In this case, they use things like Japanese koto and flute, designed to reassure us and bring us comfort in a time of trouble. In fact, scientist Marcus J. Buller says, "As you listen to the protein, you will find that the intricate design results in incredibly interesting and actually pleasing, relaxing sounds. This doesn't really convey the deadly impact this particular protein is having on the world. This aspect of the music shows the deceiving nature of the virus, how it hijacks our body to replicate and hurts us along the way. So, the music is a metaphor for this nature of the virus to deceive the host and exploit it for its own multiplication." But why would anyone want to set a virus to music? Surely there must be a purpose. Well, it turns out there is. This new auditory format can help scientists find places on the protein where antibodies or drugs might be able to bind. They use AI to find musical sequences to correspond to these sites. Conventionally, researchers have used visual methods like molecular modeling to research viruses and proteins. However, some researchers are saying that this is a more intuitive method. It enables them to work faster and with a more complete understanding. Sonification also allows scientists with visual impairments to study data more easily. In fact, the entire process was pioneered by Wanda Diaz-Merced, who is an astronomer who lost her sight in her 20s. For an astrophysicist, her loss of sight could have signaled the end for her exploration of space data. However, Wanda discovered another way to access, analyze, and interpret it. She listened to it. She soon realized that discoveries can be made and patterns can be identified by listening, and she could uncover things that were obscured by graphs and visual representations. In fact, some of her sighted colleagues have been listening to her audible data to get a more rounded view. And this also allows sighted scientists to multitask. You can, for example, write a paper while listening to data cues. But sonification has wider uses than studying viruses and space, and some scientists are looking at how they can use it in the broader world. Scientists at Stony Brook University are looking at data sonification to see if they can help people with Parkinson's disease walk more easily. By attaching motion sensors to the feet of people with and without Parkinson's, they were able to record information on the gait of the walkers. They then turned various aspects of the gait, for example, how long a step lasts or which part of the foot lands on the ground first, into music. The songs produced aren't particularly tuneful, however, they hope to develop ways for Parkinson's patients to listen to their live data to guide them to correct their steps as they walk. At the Anglia Ruskin University, sonification data is being used to develop new ways to help athletes perform better and reduce injuries. Sports scientist Dr. Genevieve Williams explains this in a much more succinct way than I could. Our brains are hardwired to understand and internalize this audio feedback in ways much more powerful than visual perception. For an athlete in training, audio feedback can keep him or her on track even when they're not under the scrutinizing eye of the coach. Also, patients in physical therapy who need to perform their exercises on their own. And sonification is not just for scientists. New York City-based data visualization artist Brian Fu coded a song using the median income numbers from the US Census. It shows the crescendos and dips of wealth as two trains travel through the New York boroughs from places like the Bronx and Brooklyn to Wall Street. This is a piece of art that allows people to understand income disparity in a more immersive and visceral way. One of my favourites is where Fu explores gender and race in recent blockbuster films. Musical tones are split up into 4 categories: actors who identify as white male, white women, men of colour, and women of colour. It's apparent pretty quickly that the song is, in fact, pretty dull. It lacks dynamics and is unchanging, showing that the dataset lacks dynamics and is unchanging, highlighting the lack of diversity. I really love this use of sonification. It allowed me to connect with data emotionally and really understand what's going on beyond the numbers. I'd love to know what you think about it. So it seems that hearing data, not just seeing it, could be a transformative tool for the future, especially in a time of vastly multiplying information, and I'm very interested to see how it goes and if it becomes more common practice. So it seems that music is a creative, intuitive, and useful way of analysing those piling numbers, allowing us to look at data and the world in a whole new way. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe. Also, please do check out my Patreon, which is patreon.com/BethRoars. It really does help support the channel. And also, you get early access to some of the content and you can vote on who I react to for my reaction videos. See you in the next one. Bye. Do do ba da da do do da da do do ba